Ancient technologies, ramp and pulleys. Two really important things ancient humans needed to understand and was useful to understand is the concept of angles, the concept of like a ramp, right, a slope, as they call it. But also, the concept of pulleys, the usefulness of a pulley system. So, in Egypt, for example, we found some wooden artifacts of what's called, they call them rockers, which has a certain shape, half circle shape, and the fact that if you use four of them together, you essentially can make a circle. And in the middle, with these flat part sides, will create a square. So in other words, this is designed, very smart design, right? It's a way to add a curve to a flat surface. So these will be put on a flat surface, and now it'll have a curved surface because of the half circle design, as you can see in some of these images up here. So, as you can see in some of these illustrations here, here's a rocker. Oops. Just happened. Zoom in a little bit. You can see it's an illustration. Use four of them around a square block. Here's more of a wooden representation. Here's a digital one. As you can see, using ropes going around the wooden pegs, right? You can use it like a pulley, right? Because pulley, all it is basically a tube, cylinder, right, and rope running around it. So it's a rope going around a rounded off object, cylinder typically. So with that understanding, right, that capability, it's useful. So much you can do, right? You can create, a lift, right? Oops. Okay. You create a lift, right? So you can lift things up, right? As you can see in this illustration up here, using the pulley system, a cylinder with a rope on it, right, attached to a sled, and the sled has a stone on it, and then going up the slope, pull it up the slope. And then there's the mathematical understanding of how a pulley works. This is over here in this image. One pulley, you need a certain amount of pull force. So to lift 100 pounds, you're essentially 100 pounds of pulling force to lift up 100 pounds. But if you use two pulleys, you only need half of that. So 50 pounds to lift up 100 pounds. And then you have three, it's 33 1/3. And if you have four pulleys, it's 25 pounds of force, Newton force, to lift up 100 pounds. So more pulleys used, the less you have strength you have to use. So, and part of the pulley system, the way where is more rope. So the more pulleys used, the more rope the longer the rope is gonna be. So distance, right, plus weight becomes a factor. As you can see over here, you got a stone block on sled. Here's a slope, and this slope is made of sand, which is sand packed on top of this step. Right, these blocks, they're set up like steps, and then you see the guys pulling on these cylinders right here, right, pulling up the block up the slope. So it's something they can do. Over here, if you want to create Stonehenge, right, to put these blocks, of these stone blocks upright. That's where understanding of lever and leverage comes in, right? But you can also use rope pulley system, obviously, to help you lift and position, put them to position. So there's benefits there. You don't have to make something perfectly round. You just need it to have multiple surfaces. That's the thing about a round shape, is that it has multiple contact points, as they call it. It has a lot of contact points for contacting the surface. But you can do something as simple as this. So you take a block, right, and then you can put some wood stacked next to each other and tie it up on each side. That way you're creating more contact surfaces. So that when we start rolling, which is the idea, right? We start rolling and moving this, it'll be able to move because of the multiple contact points. And the contact points are smaller as opposed to the big flat surface here, which takes up more space, more area, right? You're condensing it down to these smaller size shape points. So this surface here will be touching, then when you roll it over, it'll be these two right here, and this corner right here will be touching, and then it'll flip over, and then these three will be touching, the flat surface, and you just keep rolling, and you get the idea. And that makes moving anything easier if you can roll it. So it goes back to the whole rolling thing. Just like you have this block over here on top of a sled, and under it is a whole bunch of wood, right? A whole bunch of rounded off logs. Yeah, logs. A whole bunch of logs which are round, so they're going to roll, and you can just roll it over them. You can get a similar result if you use ball bearings, but you get the idea there. So over here, some illustrations of the whole ramp thing. Like I said, sled up a ramp, whether it be made of dirt or a ramp block, as I like to call it. So here you can see a physical depiction of a ramp block. Basically, it's just the idea of a block that has a stone block that has a slope on it, essentially 45 degrees. This looks a little bit more like it could be 50 degrees, so either 45 degrees or 50 degrees. Then you should be able to pull something up and over onto the top, and then position where you want, and then just keep doing that over and over again. Just need a whole bunch of these going up and up to where you want to go to, so you can create something similar to what you say here, because essentially that's what they did. They kind of created their own ramp block out of dirt. They're able to have a slope and then a flat surface, right? And then they move it, bring it up another slope into a flat surface, and keep it. And that's the idea. The slope is to help you get to the elevation, which is the top flat surface, which will be at level with whatever height you're trying to get to. So you're going up the slope to a certain height, then going up the slope to another height, keep going down. As you can see over here, they go up and up and up the slope to get to the top and start building. So take it up, build, take it up, build, take it up, build. You can see over here, they're pouring blocks, then they tilt it over onto the sled, and then the sled, as you can see, will be going down a ramp. Then it goes to where you're trying to build, go up another ramp, and then take it up to where you need to take it up to, right, and build. It's logical, you gotta understand. It'd be weird for anyone to disagree with any of these ideas, considering the fact that this is a lot of the ways we do things in modern day times, right? So we know for a fact and from experience that these things work. Anybody who's ever had a job as a mover or has ever been responsible, like in their house, to move furniture or take something up the stairs, the second floor, right? If you've ever been a mover, the moving trucks have ramps at the back of the truck to help them unload and upload, right? Stuff. So the ramps for makes things easier. Makes it easier to take something from ground level to a higher level, right? And vice versa. Steps in your house are essentially ramps, just ramps with with steps. So right, literal steps. Just like how in this picture, you see there's steps here, but it said they made a slope here, so it'd be easier to slide up and down these blocks. Whatever object you're trying to take up there and down, especially even food supply. If they need to take a whole bunch of food and water and take it up, they'll take it up the slope, right, and take it up, and then everybody will have access to it. They just grab what they need to drink and eat and keep on working. That way they don't have to travel down and up the pyramid, for their breaks. They can just take. So you can see in this image or images, you see the sled up here at the back. You see it looks like there's a 45-degree angle at the back. Then in the front, you see there's this curve, so it's a slope. So that way, if it hits a ramp, it will easily go up the ramp, right? And the back will flatten with the ground. So at a 45-degree angle, and then you'll keep on pulling until this flat surface of the sled is parallel to the slope, and you keep pulling. So this is literally engineered and designed to work with a ramp, a 45-degree angle, or 50 degree angle. As you can see over here is an illustration of a ramp and the sled rock being pulled up. But here it's going through sand, so clearly people are experimenting to test out the idea. Here's an illustration from ancient Egypt of them pulling a big statue on a sled, a bunch of people, water being involved, which is what this little experiment here is for, to test out that idea. Same goes for here. Here you see there's a ramp with logs to help make it hard for the sled to slide back down, because you want it to keep going up, and when the people get tired, they take a break. The block will stay there, and then they start moving again, keep going all the way up, so that we don't slide down. So these are like bumpers, basically. Buffers, whatever you call it. So zoom in so you can see it clearly. You see this